Hello, I'm Trevor Alonso, and this is my review for Captain Marvel. Alright, so I like to say that I like the movie. I thought it was good. I do think the worst thing going for this movie and for Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming out right after Infinity War. Because everyone's thinking, wow, Infinity War, really high expectations. Now we get, good movies, but they're not as good as Infinity War. Also, I hate how everyone's trying to compare this to Wonder Woman. There's really no comparison other than they're both women, they're both superheroes. That's it. This movie is more like a buddy cop movie. It follows the buddy cop formula. It's Nick Fury and Captain Marvel teaming up to go after the Skrulls. Alright, so the main plot is this woman named Verse from Space Force, which we all know she ends up becoming Captain Marvel. Spoilers there. Not really, but she's working in Space Force. She doesn't remember her past. She has vague memories, and they show the flashbacks rapidly, and it looks like stuff from Earth, but she's in space right now. She's working for the Kree, and we all know the Kree are bad guys. If you remember Guardians of the Galaxy, Rowan the Accuser's Kree, they're working for Rowan. They're almost like the Green Lantern Corps, where they're going around space, stopping bad guys, but without the special rings. And we get the Skrulls, who are the bad guys in this movie. They're shape-shifting aliens who can take on the form of almost anybody. They're also who people really got confused and thought was the bad guy at the very end of the first Avengers. Yeah, I remember seeing the Avengers at the midnight show when the movie ended and it showed Thanos. Not everybody knew it was Thanos. Some people thought, oh, it's supposed to be a Skrull. It's a Skrull! It's the Skrulls! Nope, not the Skrulls. So at one point, Captain Marvel gets taken by the Skrulls, they start tapping into her brain, and you think that they're doing something bad to her. They're trying to research her past, and they take her to Earth. At least I think it's 6 years later from the time that they said 1989 to the time that they said was the present, so I'm guessing 1995. And we get a young Nick Fury. He seems like he's still in his agent days, and not in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. days. And the CGI looks great. The de-aging CGI looks great. It doesn't look bad. It's not X-Men 3 bad. I can barely notice it at all. Other than the fact that I know Samuel L. Jackson's older now. And we get a young Agent Coulson, but he's not in the movie for very long. Sorry, but he's not in there much. So Nick Fury and Captain Marvel have to work together to find out what the Skrulls are up to and why they're on Earth. The movie was overall good. The effects were really great. Like I said, the CGI wasn't bad. Yeah, it's a good movie. I really liked it. Whether they hate it or love it, that's fine. I don't care. Everyone's open to their own opinion. I liked it. I liked it as a movie. I liked all the stuff in it. I liked the fights. The fights were good. There was a few Top Gun references. They don't say, I feel the need for speed. They say faster, further, higher, which is like their Need for Speed. The cat's name is Goose, which is supposed to be a reference to Top Gun. In the comics, the cat's name is Chewie, which is a reference to Star Wars. Here, it's named Goose as a reference to Top Gun. And I felt like there's a few slight other references, but I'm not 100% sure. We get a lot of 90s references. We get a lot of 90s music. Okay, I'm gonna get into spoilers now. Okay, where do I start? The Skrulls are not the main bad guys in this movie. I'll start there. Yeah, they're definitely bad guys early on, and we're there to believe, okay, they're the main bad guys. Where's this going to lead to? There was a lot of speculation that this was going to lead to, secret wars after Endgame. There was speculation that we're going to find out, some of the Avengers turn out to be Skrulls, like in Secret Invasion. How is this going to change the Marvel Universe in the movies? What's it gonna do? And they turn out to be good guys, and not only that, but at the end they leave the planet. So there are no Skrulls on Earth, supposedly. There's probably some fan theories that, there's one Skrull, or this guy's a Skrull, or this guy took over that one. I think it's safe to say nobody's a Skrull in any of the other movies. The Stan Lee cameo, I will say, is kind of a spoiler talking about it now, because, it's supposed to be a surprise when you see it. When Captain Marvel's looking for a Skrull on a train, she's looking around, and she sees an old guy, and it's Stan Lee, and he's holding a script. The script says Mallrats. So is Stan Lee playing Stan Lee in this movie? He's playing himself? But whenever she sees him, she kind of winks and smiles at the camera. We find out that she was actually on Earth and she was helping with this secret mission, building a new engine, and she was being the pilot for that. And that MAR-VELL was the scientist making that ship. Jude Law's not MAR-VELL. Sorry, fans, for those that believe the marketing not too long ago that showed like stuff of him as MAR-VELL. But MAR-VELL is the scientist. We find out Captain Marvel's real name is Carol Danvers. So Jude Law's character turns out to be a bad guy, and the Space Force are actually bad guys. They erased her memory so that she would think the Skrulls are the bad guys. And it turned out every day whenever they worked on her, it wasn't to help her, it was to make her think that, hey, everything they were telling her is the truth. Everything she knew before was a lie. We find out that Carol Danvers got her powers from the test spaceship that MAR-VELL was working on. When Carol blows it up so that Jude Law's character doesn't get it, the energy goes into her and she absorbs it. And that's how she got her powers. And of course, fans know that she's Carol Danvers. We knew she got her powers from MAR-VELL, but, in the comics, most of them, MAR-VELL is a guy. So we kind of led to believe that Jude Law is MAR-VELL and blah blah blah. But that's not what happens. Which I thought was a good way they did it in the movie. Alright, we found out that her cat Goose is not just a regular cat. It's what they called a flurgan. And for a while they play with the thing that that cat's dangerous and the squirrels are afraid of it. And it's kind of funny. They're like, it's just a little cat. And Nick Fury's like, yeah, it's just a little cat. And he's like playing with it until near the end when the cat opens its mouth and it's like this Leviathan, the thing looking tentacles come out of it and eat a bunch of bad guys. And you find out that it's this dangerous alien thing. We also find out that the alien ship was powered by the Tesseract. That's right, the Tesseract from the Avengers. So that means that after Tony Stark's dad found it, they took it to S.H.I.E.L.D., or what would become S.H.I.E.L.D., they were testing with it, and then when building that ship, MAR-VELL got a hold of it and used it to power the ship. But in the movie, whenever they got the Tesseract, she handed it to Fury to take for safekeeping, and a little bit after that, Goose ate it. And it seemed like it's in safekeeping because they're having a cat, so they're not going to let go of it. Okay, for what a lot of people were like hoping to see in this movie, is Nick Fury lose his eye. I wasn't really expecting it because, I thought maybe they'll keep it a mystery. Maybe they'll do like the comic where he loses it to a grenade. Maybe he'll lose it in a, off screen in a completely different movie, like he ends this movie with both eyes. It seemed like a joke early on where he gets into a car wreck and he has something over his eye and they're like, how's your eye? And then we reveal his eye's perfectly fine. And I was like, is this going to be a running gag throughout the movie where like every 5 minutes something comes at his eye and the audience is like, yeah, he's not going to lose his eye yet. Near the very end, Goose scratches Nick Fury's eye out. That's how he loses his eye. And later on at S.H.I.E.L.D., they're asking, is it because the Kree were torturing you? And he doesn't confirm or deny it. Because of course Nick Fury's not going to say, so this little cat here scratched my eye out. And of course it's a funny scene whenever you see it. Captain Marvel is supposed to be the most powerful character in the Marvel Universe. They kind of showed it in this. They hinted at it. I hope they show more of it in Endgame. Okay, before I talk about the end credit scenes, of course, we remember the pager that Nick Fury had at the end of Infinity War that showed Captain Marvel's emblem on it. Okay, so at the end of the movie, of course, Captain Marvel gives him the pager, and it was the pager that Nick Fury was using in the movie, but she amplified it so that it would signal her, and she said, only use this for emergencies. So apparently when aliens were attacking in the first Avengers, that's not a big enough emergency. When the entire world is almost at its doom because of Ultron, that's not an emergency. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to talk about the end credit scenes. The first one was, it's showing sometime after Infinity War. It shows that pager that Nick Fury had. We see the Avengers, or what's left of the Avengers after Infinity War. They're still seeing the toll of missing people. And you can see the pager, it's hooked up to a wire or something. And they're seeing the signal, and it just stopped blinking. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to figure out why Nick Fury had this. Why was this so important? Is this something that could help them? And who's on the other end? And as they're trying to figure it out, Captain Marvel shows up and asks, where's Fury? And that was great. That was amazing. The second end credit scene, good, but not as good as the first one. The second end credit scene, it shows Nick Fury's desk, and it shows Goose hop up on it, and she acts like she's gonna hawk up a hairball, but she hawks up the Tesseract. And we're like, that was good, but it seemed like we kind of knew the Tesseract was gonna come out somehow, but, you know, because it's in Avengers, and it's out in Thanos' glove. So why, it seemed like they should have put that end credit scene first, and the in-game tying one last, because that would have been more worth it. It's still good. Overall, I thought the movie was good. I'm really just judging it as a movie. I'm judging it on its own, not comparing it to any other woman superhero movie. I'll give it a 8 out of 10 Flurgans. Check it out. Thank you for watching my video.